It's a law that says that within a 50-foot zone around the clinic, that when a person enters that zone, that they get an 8-foot bubble around themselves, so it's a bubble within a bubble. And it says that we can't approach the woman within 8 feet of herself within that bubble. Now, it's based on the Hill versus Colorado law, which is ruled constitutional by the Supreme Court. And I was reading the concurrent opinion from that decision yesterday because, we've been told, well, you can't, if a woman comes near you and you're standing still, you have to run away so that you're 8 feet away. That was what they told us a couple weeks ago here, which is not what approach means, right? I'm not approaching if I'm standing still. So the concurring opinion in Hill v. Colorado says that you are allowed to stand stationary and that if you're standing motionless, that you are not breaking the law. So there's been a lot of confusion about what the law means and how to enforce it. So thus far, there haven't been any arrests or anything like that, but it's still not being enforced correctly usually. And here, the first week of the bubble zone ordinance, they had us stand over here in this section by this sort of fake bus stop, and they told us that for this week that they would allow us to stand there, even though it was within the 50-foot zone, but that we had to run away if women approached us generally and things like that. So today we had the SWAT team show up, and they wouldn't explain to us. They talked to Aida a little bit. They wouldn't explain to us exactly why they were there. They said they were going to go talk to somebody higher up, but they never came back. So I'm not quite sure what happened today. They're definitely just as confused, and they don't know how to enforce it. And what does it mean to knowingly approach a woman without her consent, or with her consent? Knowingly is a difficult word, but it means that if I'm 7.5 feet away, but I'm trying to be 8 feet away, I guess I'm doing the right thing. But an 8-foot bubble is pretty big and pretty hard to determine exactly. I don't know exactly how far 8 feet from between the two of us is. And then also to get her consent. If she doesn't say no, is that consent, or does she have to specifically say I consent? Who knows? But generally, we are just doing more praying than counseling because you don't want to be accused of, she didn't consent or you approached her when you weren't supposed to. Those kinds of things. That it's a little bit safer to know I'm just standing still and praying.
I think the lawyers are actually trying to attack the law on the basis that it is vague. It's difficult to enforce because it says, you can't knowingly approach within 8 feet, but no one knows what that means. The ACLU, they're also against this ordinance. They have had a position statement out that said they believe that just standing here like we're doing now could be interpreted as an approach. It could be interpreted as approaching someone, which to me logically it wouldn't suggest that. Just standing still, I don't think would suggest that. One of the lawyers from that pro-life has suggested that we have somebody videotaping whenever possible, just to ensure that we have documentation of what happens when we're out here, in case someone from the clinic or someone else later tries to claim that we did something illegal, just to show what actually did happen. Before the ordinance passed, the clinic has called the police almost every week because it's obvious they don't want us here, so they'll say anything to get the police to come out and, I assume, get us to go away or somehow inhibit what we're doing. The police were here just as I was arriving this morning. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but they have been here quite a bit.